Welcome back to Hermitcraft. All right. Well, I guess the news is out that Season 4 is coming to an end, and that Season 5 will be starting very soon on the 5th anniversary of I almost said Minecraft, on the 5th anniversary of Hermitcraft. How about that? Yeah, very cool. Let's see. However, as you may recall, about last week or so, I decided that I wanted to take a shot at the distance flown by Elytra, specifically getting it up to a little over 5,000. At the time, my distance flown by Elytra was 847, excuse me. And now, it's up to 2,921. I've been doing just a little bit of flying. Oh, scratch that. I've been doing a lot of flying. When I started doing it, I was getting flights 60, 70 kilometers. Thought that was pretty decent. And I was tweaking my technique and adjusting how I was doing things, and I got my flights up to 100 kilometers, or even 120 sometimes. And I kept tinkering and tweaking with the method that I'm using and working it out. And my last flight was 280 kilometers, and I was in the air for 1 hour and 35 minutes nonstop. Yeah. And so I figured I could kind of give a little bit of a rundown on how I'm doing this. Call it a How to Fly Really Long Distance in Minecraft by Elytra. Yeah. And first thing you're going to need is Elytra. I've got 4 of them. Well, I had 2, and then I discovered that Cub had restocked his Elytra shop. And I went up there, I went to the branch mine for about 15 minutes, got me some diamonds, went over there and bought 2 more of them. They must have mending and unbreaking free. Strongly recommend putting mending on first. I think it's kind of reducing the cost of things after it. And so on. Okay. 4 Elytra, all in fully repaired, 4 stacks, a flight duration 3 rockets. Don't put firework stars on them. It may be cute, it may be funny, but you won't make it to the end of the flight. I also have an ender chest with me. In the event I have to land, I've got everything that I need in the ender chest. Leather, anvils, I got plenty of XP. I could repair an Elytra if I had to. There's 1 more stack of rockets in there, and some other various and sundry supplies if I should need them. I probably won't. All right. Now, the flight that I take off, and I head this way, 90 degrees, headed west. And you see I'm at minus 1,300 here at the diamond. And I fly west. I pitch up to like 45 degrees, and I keep my heading at 90 degrees, 40 to 45 degrees. And I do this thing where I'll fire 1 rocket after another. And the way you do it is when you fire a rocket, your Y number, the middle number on the, the middle number right here on the XYZ line. When you fire a rocket, that number will start climbing. And when it starts slowing down its climb, when it starts going up slower and slower, and just before it starts going down, that's when you fire another rocket and keep climbing. And doing it that way, pitched up like this, you can gain about 110 to 120 meters in altitude for every rocket you fire. It adds up. It adds up beautifully. So I'm going to take off and start doing this. And I'll fly, just like I said, west, like this. All right. Now I just wait till that number starts slowing down. Fire another one. And just keep doing this. And what I'll do is I will maintain this routine. I'll do this routine. I'll burn this whole stack of rockets just reaching my cruising altitude. As you see, my intention is to keep this climb up, probably burn a stack or a stack and a half of rockets, maybe even 2 stacks. The last flight, I climbed up to 10,000 on the y-axis. And I may do that this time, because that was a pretty good distance. I got 280 kilometers out of that. And so I'm going to continue with that, and just simply to not bore people to tears, a lot of this video is going to be progress updates, because this is all you get to see in a flight like this. You fly in so high you can't even see the ground, which in a way is good, because no chunk updates and no lag generation. If you can't see it, it isn't getting rendered. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyway, I will check in at altitude. All right. Altitude is now 10,200. I am leveling off. Okay, get my heading just right here. All right, 90 degrees and very slight pitch up, minus 0.7. I'm almost flying flat and level. I have found this to be the overall best. And I'm already minus 7,000, almost minus 8,000 on the x-axis, which means I'm actually getting to the point where I need to make my first turn. And here we are, passing 8,000. Okay, so now I'll just turn to the left here, and go to a heading of minus 90. As close to it as I can manage. That looks pretty good. And I want my pitch to be between minus 0.1 and minus 1. So that right there is great. Now, if I do things entirely right, I won't need to fire another rocket for the next hour, hour and a half. But I'll be flying the entire time. I did pitch up a little bit higher. I got pitched up to 60 degrees for a while during my climb. And I think that was pretty good. It got me up to altitude faster. Basically, I was gaining altitude faster than I was moving west. And that worked out, I think. I used all but 22 rockets out of 2 stacks. And, yeah, not bad. And now I am proceeding east. I will fly east to approximately plus 8,000. From minus 8,000 to plus 8,000. At which point I will turn and fly back to the west again. Like I said, there's not much to see. There is no action going on. There is no fancy aerobatics, because that costs you altitude and speed. This is just get up here and fly. And now that I'm on the right heading, and I'm going the right direction, I've got the right pitch, and so on. My policy here for the rest of the flight is, unless I'm turning, my hand is off the mouse unless I'm either turning or coming over here to check the current durability of my Elytra. When this gets down to about 60 or so, I will pick one of these up and swap that out, so that I have full Elytra durability. And 4 Elytra will let you fly a really long ways. Yeah. Okay. I have some flying to do. I will check in when I make my next turn. All right. Here it is. It's about 12 or 13 minutes later, something like that. I am up to 2979 distance, and let's see, my first Elytra is down to 128 durability, and I'm just passing through 8,000, so it's time to make the first turn. And I'm doing a mess of keeping my pitch where I want it. No, I want west, not east. God, I'm messing up this turn, something awful. I normally do it a heck of a lot better than that, I promise you. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good in spite of derping up the turn like there. I went and did a full spiral or some crazy stuff. But the next thing that I need to be paying attention to is the Elytra durability, which is down to 117. And from what I read on the wiki, when this thing gets down to a durability of 1, it will not break. So it gets down to a durability of 1 and stops working. You want to change it out before that happens. Yeah. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'll be back when it's ready to be changed. Okay. It's down to 63, 62, 61. Yeah. I think it's time to not push it any harder. Just pick up the 1, swap it. There we go. Now we've got a fully repaired Elytra ready to continue. And yeah, I'm going to continue. Same routine. Hands off the mouse unless I'm making a turn or checking Elytra damage value with the inventory open. Basically, that's it right there. If the only time to touch the mouse is when I'm turning or I have the inventory open, because getting the heading and pitch, the last two numbers on the facing line, the 90.3 is the heading, the minus 0.9 is the pitch. Minus is up, positive is down. And that's the only time to touch the mouse. The rest of the time, you don't want anything touching that mouse, because if you're going for distance, you want a nice straight heading and a level, almost level, slightly pitched up attitude. And it's a funny thing, when you're flying at this altitude, F5, there is nothing to see. You can't even see yourself because you're outside of world. Zero chunk updates, though. You're not causing lag by doing this sort of thing. And I'm setting my limit at minus 8,000 and plus 8,000 because I don't want to generate any more terrain. You know, I figure that that's unnecessary to go generating a bunch of terrain that I'm never even going to see. All right, checking back in at the next turn. Okay, approaching turn number 3. I'm up to 3,013. I was at 2921 when I started, so I'm close to having gone 100 kilometers already. And turning to minus 90. Getting my pitch back up where I want it. Yeah, that'll do right there. Sometimes when you go to let go of the mouse, you can't help but to bump it a little bit. All right, there we go. Coming up on 100 kilometers flown so far. And I launched, it was about 9:33. It's 9:57 now. So I'm coming up on, I'm right about 25 minutes airborne already. And yeah, this is going to be a long flight. All right, checking in at the next turn or something significant. Okay, approaching another turn. And I've noticed, let's see, it's 10:07. I launched about 9:33. And you may notice it's really silent. There is no sound. I didn't turn the sound off. Instead, what happened, if I can get this set correctly, that's good. That's good right there. Now what happened was that after about 25 or 30 minutes playing the same Elytra wind noise sound over and over and over again, Minecraft just decided, nope, not going to do that anymore. So now the remainder of my flight will be silent, except for the sound of launching rockets, which actually, you'll notice my altitude has just now hit 5,000. I'm going to pitch up and fire off another stack of rockets to regain altitude, because this is all about distance, and distance is all about staying in the air as long as possible. And so, with that in mind, pitching up and launching more rockets. And I'm going to probably fire off a stack of rockets to regain some serious altitude so that I have plenty of glide time. I also need to keep an eye on that. Alright, I will be back at the next turn. I'm going to fire these off, change out the Elytra, level off, so on and so forth. And yeah, check in at the next turn. Just catching it to make sure there's a record of it. Peak altitude, just over 11,000. Yeah. And I bumped the mouse. Okay. And I need to get this changed out. Pick this one up, swap it. There we go. Fresh Elytra to continue a really long flight. Well, here we are, coming out at minus 8,000 again, and making another turn. I've lost track of how many times I've turned, so I'm going to put a text overlay in the video to indicate the turn counts and whatnot, so that way I don't have to keep track of it now. And yeah, distance so far is up to 3,086 from 2921 start. Elytra is doing good, and I'm continuing this long flight. All right, coming up on another turn here, and I noticed that it is now 10:33 p.m. So I have now been flying for an hour. 1 hour of flight time. And we get things set here. Yeah, that's good. Alright. 31:19. It was 29:21 when I took off, so I'm almost at 200 kilometers already. And my third Elytra is starting to get kind of raggedy. I'll be changing that out fairly soon. Meanwhile, the flight continues. Can I make 300 kilometers on this flight? I don't know. Maybe. Alright, coming up on another turn, I'm out at 3150 is the distance now, which is just under 230 kilometers since I launched. And, okay, let's go ahead and start the turn. And I think, all things considered, I probably have enough altitude to fly until I reach the 300 kilometer mark, which would be 3221 would be 300 kilometers. I think I've got enough altitude. What I don't think I have is enough Elytra. I'm on my last one, which means I need to be landing at the diamond before that one runs out. I have enough altitude. I've got enough rockets. I could gain altitude if I needed to. But the ruling factor here now is how much Elytra durability do I have. I've got 348 right now, and that's on the last one. So we'll see. Also, the time is 10:43, so I have currently been flying for 1 hour and 10 minutes. That's another thing about this. It's a long duration, a long time flying. Now, my last flight, I got to 280 after an hour and 35 minutes. We'll see. Okay, 10:50 p.m., just over 350 kilometers, or 250 kilometers so far for this flight. And I am making a turn a lot earlier, and that's because of how much durability I don't have on the Elytra. And as soon as I get set here, that's good. Yeah. I have 239 durability left on the Elytra. My turns are now going to be much closer together, and I'm going to focus on not getting too far from the diamond so that I can still manage to fly back to it and land before that thing runs out. All right, my distance is up to 3185. That's a little over 270, I think, 260, and my durability is down to 185 on the last Elytra. It's time I'm going to make a command decision here and start descending, because I need to be on the ground before that thing runs out. And by the way, this is the one time when rain in Minecraft is actually cool. Look at this. Does that put you in mind of the Millennium Falcon going to light speed? That's the first thing I thought of when I saw that. Yeah. I'm also grateful that yeah, I need that number to go up a little bit. Yeah, I'm watching the Z number. I'm trying to keep it around 1130 or so, because that's in line with the diamond. And yeah, now objective, lose altitude and turn again to get myself closer to home so that I can land before my flight runs out. And yeah, 165. It's getting kind of tight here. So I'll check in. Okay, I'm in the neighborhood of the diamond. I can tell by the coordinates. And I'm just going to be kind of circling and descending as quickly as I can. I'm pitched way straight down. And I'm trying to get to the ground before that runs out. As long as I don't slam into the ground, that is. Alright, I'll be pulling up soonish. And really soon. There we go, pulling up. Circling. Because I'm pretty close to the diamond here now. There. Alright, great. A little bit of circling here, and I will be able to land without a problem. Alright, I won't be landing on it. That's okay. Okay. Distance 3206. Not bad. Alright. That's a pretty good flight. And 138 durability left on the last Elytra, so that's about as far as I could expect to fly with 4 Elytra. I think I'd have to have probably 5 in order to make 300 kilometers per flight. But there you go. And touchdown, it's 10:57. So pretty long flight, almost an hour and a half. If I'd have had more, I could have flown a lot longer. And the limit was not anything but just durability running out. I had plenty of rockets. I could have gained altitude, for that matter, if I'd had enough durability to last. And the way it works, the durability on Elytra, for those that don't know, I looked it up on the wiki. They lose 1 durability per second of flight. Unbreaking 3 means that every time it has a chance to lose durability, unbreaking 3 gives it a chance to not lose durability, which means you can fly as much as 25 minutes on 1 Elytra. Maybe even close to 30, depending on how the random number generator goes. If it's working in your favor, you can make a huge long flight. Yeah. In the meantime, I am so done for right now. On the screen will be the calculation of the actual total distance flown. I'm not going to try to figure it out right now, but yeah. That's the one thing that makes me think I'm not going to be able to make the 5,000 in the time I've got left here, is that I've got plenty of rockets. I think I have enough rockets. And with 4 Elytra, I can make some long flights getting 260, 270, maybe even close to 300 per flight, depending on how that random number generator goes. But a flight like this, after doing this for almost an hour and a half, I am so gonna not do this for several hours at least, and so on. So, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.